Hi, everybody. I am Lois from Fitness Knocking. Today, we are talking about the posture effect. And I own Fitness Knocking. We are a mobile personal training service coming to you virtually as well as in person outdoors. And we also run different kinds of seminars for all different sorts of companies. And today, I have this amazing guest with me. I'm so excited to have you here, Dr. Mansi Patel. And she is from Whole Health PTNJ right here in Randolph, New Jersey. And she's working with people virtually and some in person too, right?
Yes. And thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to help people
Yeah.
feel better in general.
Good. Well, we're so grateful to have you today. So Mansi's mission is to help empower adults in order to make them live their lives without pain and limitation. So it's so exciting to have you here today. I know that you're a mom with 2 kids, and I know you specialize in pelvic floor physical therapy. So
Yes.
those of you that are watching at home, if you need that kind of physical therapy or you're struggling with incontinence or you're struggling with pelvic floor pain or you're wondering why like certain things aren't functioning down under, talk to Mansi. She will be a great resource for you and hopefully be able to share some guidance and some help in that arena. So today we're talking about posture. And oh my gosh, I think everyone right now, we're Zooming so much, we're on social media so much, we're sitting so much. Everybody's having trouble with this. And I've been talking about posture all month. But I would love for you to share with us like why posture in general from like a whole body perspective, why posture is important.
Well, posture is our key to how we feel and how we function, right? Because don't forget, like, why is posture so important? So one thing I like to really explain to my clients is posture is important. Thinking about all day we have gravity pushing down on us from up ahead. So if we're here or if we're kind of slouched in our low back even while standing, or we're kind of jutting our hip bar forward, all that gravitational force throughout the day, the way we sit, the way we stand, thinking about just physics, is the muscles in the front or the back, some of them are going to have to overuse. And that's why we end up getting a lot. Like when our head is here, all the muscles in the back have to work so much harder. Then when we get in a good alignment, that force from up above can get translated to where all the proper weight-bearing bones are in our body.
Yeah, absolutely. I see so much in the exercise world when we go out to do an evaluation, or well, now we're doing them virtually. But when we see people, oftentimes I'm seeing almost very rarely people that don't have postural problems, that like imbalance of front to back, it's so prevalent. So if you're experiencing that at home, don't worry. If you're experiencing neck pain, it's probably your posture, right? Would you agree with that, Mansi?
Majority of the time, that's where a lot of the problems kind of start from, is when we're younger or when we're more flexible, your body can take a little bit of an abuse because our body always finds the least path of resistance. It's an easy way out. So it might not hurt you. A lot of times people don't pay attention to their bodies and their posture until aches and pains start. So that's why I always like to reiterate, you want to stay ahead of the game. So it's not that, oh, I only need to work on my posture if it's painful. If I'm here, it doesn't hurt. No, don't ignore it, because if you start, that's when the pain, and it takes that much longer to address those habitual issues rather than really working on that part, fixing, pretty much lengthening what's tight and strengthening what's weak, and really getting your alignment back in a proper place is going to help prevent future injuries from happening.
Oh my gosh, yes. So important. So tell me, like, if I'm not breathing properly, now I talk to my followers and my clients about breath work and how important it is for breath work. But so how do you check if you're breathing properly?
So one of the things is I incorporate breathing into a lot of my clients, because we forget our bodies are amazing. The way our bodies are made are, if you really go down deep into it, it is amazing why we do things the way we do them. So if you think about the simple thing about breathing, but not to get too technical, but if you think about it, if when we're anxious, right? The breath is so connected to our body. When we're anxious, our shoulders automatically go up and we take shallow, deep breaths. So when we're very stressed, anxious, who isn't nowadays, right? And that's when you all get all that. When you're stressed at work, when you're stressed with your kids at home, you're stressed with everything else that's happening around us right now, is when we end up, people complain of, oh, my neck hurts. And then you end up holding that posture. You start breathing with your accessory, like all the neck muscles. So instead, it's so important to make sure that you're going ahead and breathing with your entire body, or the way our ribs and everything work, right? Like I like to teach my clients to really breathe with their lower, like you want to really expand. A lot of us have heard that thing about abdominal breathing into your, when you think about yoga, meditation, it's that deep breath, but breath not into your upper body, but really into your midsection, because it has a lot to do with each breath you take is kind of like a massage to those little muscles that tend to get tight when we're stressed.
I love that you said that. I love that. That's so true.
Yeah.
And it's so important to make sure that you're breathing fully and effectively, and you're getting everything expansion that all the way around. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because a lot of times when we're rounded or upper, right? Like so many people have tight upper backs, and you're always kind of trying to loosen them up. And just think, if you can really concentrate on breathing properly, or really thinking about taking time out, even 5 minutes of really deep expanding your ribs with, like, I like to think of it as more than an abdominal breath, like a 360 breath, because a lot of our stomach muscles and a lot of our upper back, right, muscles attach right to your spine. And if you can kind of gently move that spine with each breath you take, those joints won't get stiff anymore.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So finding breath work and practicing it on a regular basis is such a simple thing that if you do it on a regular basis, and I have clients that sometimes have trouble falling asleep. I say just practice deep diaphragmatic breathing, and we teach them how to do it. And it makes such a difference in just leveling your body down and coming into a more calm state of being. That's so valuable. So can you share with us maybe a quick corrective exercise or two that we could practice? So I'm going to show you, like, I know, and I see young people, especially, young teenagers in my family, even my own kids. And I see their posture, and I'm constantly tickling backs of necks and tickling shoulders to try to get them to correct it. But this is what I see. Can you give us a couple of coaching tips on how we can correct? So this is what I see. I'll give you.
Yes. Exactly. So a few tips for that is, again, ergonomics, right? So I always tell especially right now when kids are in front of their computers all the time. All day. The kids aren't meant to do this. So I know a lot of times for adults, we think, oh yeah, the computer needs to be at the right height. Our arms need to be supported. So especially for the kids who are in the younger elementary age as well, right? You want to make sure you're getting a desk where their feet are flat on the ground, and the desk at the appropriate
hard.
Right? I know, and they're so hard to find right now. But also, if you're going to have, then put a step stool under their feet.
I prop my kids up, and they're. Yeah. And I feel like I do it too. If I'm not I'm sitting on a ball right now, as you can see. Sometimes I don't even realize when I'm bouncing. But when I'm not sitting on a ball, oftentimes what I'll do is I'll sit under with one foot underneath me to prop myself up a little bit. But I felt if I sit on a pillow, I get higher and I'm much more comfortable.
Yes.
Okay. So
what you want to think about is pretend you have a little string. I always tell my patients, pretend you have a little string attached to the top of your head. So when you're sitting up, it's not just stick your chest out. That's what a lot of people tend to do. It's go from one extreme to don't just stick your chest out. That's not proper posture. anytime you have good posture, it shouldn't be a holding pattern because then you're just going to overuse the other ones.
Right, right.
So like you said, like when you're here, you want to think about, pretend there's a string attached to the top of your head that's pulling you up. It's just kind of lifting your collarbones up.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
That's such a great, it's just a different visual, like
Yeah.
lifting up through here.
Lifting up through your collarbone and pulling it up with your string. So then that way you're in a relaxed position. So when you relax it down, everything pretty much, I like to explain to people like you're stacking bones on top of another.
Mhm.
When you're here, the head is way up forward. Stack that head on top of your neck and stack that neck on top of your upper back bones.
Yeah.
Right?
It's so simple.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's difficult to see it on yourself, you know, so in
Yes.
trying to correct it and making those minor adjustments in a day to day. I love that you just put your hands there and you did that.
Yeah, you're literally lifting your head and
lifting up and just finding that length, and it feels so good to do it. You feel like you get more oxygen to the brain because you are.
And all your shoulders get tight. So honestly, simple. Nothing needs to be complicated. Just simple backward shoulder rolls to really, and it's not shoulder rolls here. It's not just keeping those shoulders rounded. If you really think about that head, right, that bone right there, you want to really thinking about bringing that back. So that will also get your shoulder blades back.
Cool. So like more like up, back, and then down.
Yeah.
I love that. I say that all the time. It's just so nice to hear it from another approach. It's really good. Any particular exercise like that one of your favorite?
So one of the things, especially when you're talking about it at the computer, I always say every hour, you could even put your hand behind your head and just push those elbows back.
That feels so good.
And one thing you want to be careful with that is people just tend to arch from their back. It's not arching from your back. So you want to kind of keep your back nice and relaxed, not engage that back, but really think about the motion only coming from like pretty much squeezing your shoulder blades together. You want to really think about squeezing those shoulder blades and you get a nice big stretch into your pecs.
Yeah, nice expansion through here. That felt so good. I love that. That's wonderful. That's fantastic. So I think that this was super valuable. I mean, just those couple of quick tips that we can share and you can practice at home, and then let us know what your thoughts are. If you have questions, you can absolutely chime in, ask questions below. Any other tips that you want to share with us? We have like maybe another minute or so.
So one of the biggest things, especially when we're talking about computer health, right? Like sitting in front of the computer, is this usually comes from rounding out your back. So there's something called sit bones inside your, right? Like if you think about your hips, if you kind of reach right under, you'll feel the two bones. So what you want is the weight not to be on your tailbone, because sitting on your tailbone is just, you think, but it's really scoot yourself back, get your back supported, relax that low back and get that weight right onto those sit bones, because that will allow you to stand up taller. If you sit on your tailbone, it's going to just make you get in, like it's going to get you into that slouch posture.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's a great tip. I love that one. So somebody asked me a question and they said, what do you think about standing all day at standing desks?
So standing desks are a great option, but I definitely like to say you have to switch it up, because a lot of times what ends up happening is, so for standing desk, one big tip is kind of get a step stool or a little step in front of you. Because what I see a lot of times with a standing desk is people just stand with their back arched.
Right.
And you're like, oh, my back is killing me from standing all day.
Right.
It's okay to stand all day. But again, things have to stack. If you're standing there with your hips popped forward, all that pressure, the thinking about gravity, is going to go right into your low back. But if you get the back muscles to relax and that's one easy way to do that, is kind of put your one foot on top of a little step, because that will automatically get your back to relax.
Yeah. Or a slight bend in your knees can help too.
Yep.
Good. I love that. I always also recommend making sure that you're standing on some kind of surface that has a little bit of give. And then change it up, make sure you get a desk. Next week, we're actually going to be on with a furniture company, and they sell different kinds of variation desks. So we're going to be showing demonstrations on how to do it properly. So if you want to chime in for that next week, anybody that's watching, that would be a really good thing, especially that person that had that question. Awesome. So we don't have any other questions today, but if you would like to reach out to Mansi or you'd like to get more information, there's her contact email or her website address below. And again, if you'd like to learn more about personal training or bringing exercise to your workplace or bringing in some health seminars into your workplace, by all means, reach out to me. Again, I'm Lois from Fitness Knocking. Thanks so much, Mansi, for being with us today. And you at home, have a wonderful day, and we'll hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks so much for watching.